Hey, Viking fans, people are starting to take notice of this Vikings football player. I'm going to be talking about who that is next. Welcome to Skull World, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. You can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook, Skull World. Also, I am on the Purple Pocket podcast. We go live several times a week. It's called Skull Live, so check it out. Make sure you ring the bell here and ring the bell there so you don't miss an opportunity to chat with us on our live shows. So now what I want you to do is go down and hit subscribe, click like, leave a comment. That'll enter you in my contest. The rules in the description below. I want to give away free stuff on game day against the Packers, and to do that, I need you to subscribe, I need you to like, and I need you to leave a comment. And you can do that on any of my videos, and you will be entered into the contest. Every time you comment, you get an entry. Now, what I was talking about is one player is being raved about in camp by the national media and by the players and by the coaches. And that is, and he's kind of going on the radar because you're not seeing his name. But now I'm starting to see the little in yesterday's practice, and if you heard me talk about Christian Darrisaw in my recent podcast, I'm saying that he is going to be a breakout player. He's gonna, and other people are starting to say it now too. When I heard from Brian O'Neill that he didn't practice, he didn't do OTAs last year. He came, and when he became healthy with the groin injury, he practiced 4 times and then started. And that kind of explains that, he was a little rusty coming into those games, but he played pretty well throughout the rest of the season. Now, that comes to fruition this year that he's healthy. Now, he did sit out part of practice yesterday with like an arm and wrist injury. It's not to be thought to be serious. Let's hope not. But SI.com put out an article today, and I'm gonna read that. Read parts of it. Now, the headline is Vikings left tackle Christian Darrisaw drawing early comparisons to Trent Williams. It's never a bad thing to be compared to one of the best tackles in recent NFL history. It starts off, the Vikings' new staff believes second-year left tackle Christian Darrisaw, the final first-round pick made by the previous regime, has a very bright future. In fact, they're so high on him that, talking to SI's Albert Breer, the name of one of the greatest left tackles of the century came up, Trent Williams. Here's a quote. The Vikings are pretty high on tackle Christian Darrisaw, Breer wrote in his notebook after attending practice in Minnesota on Tuesday. How high? Well, while Darrisaw has a way to go to get to his level, ways to go to get to his level, the staff here sees shades of Trent Williams in his build and movement skills. The feeling is he's got a chance to make significant leap this year, perhaps into the upper echelon at the position. Now, it goes on to say, we're talking about one of the best left tackles of the era, a former number 4 overall pick, turned 9-time Pro Bowler and 2-time All-Pro. Williams has earned a PFF grade above 90 4 times, including a ridiculous 97.8 grade last season, easily leading the league, and has been at least a 79 grade in 9 of his 11 seasons. So they're really comparing him to Trent Williams, 9-time Pro Bowler, 79 or higher grade, 9 of 11 seasons PFF, 97.8 last year. He's at his peak of his prime, and they're comparing him to Trent Williams. And you can kind of see why here in a little bit. Having Williams' career is the 99.9 percentile outcome for Darrisaw. Still, you can understand where the comparison comes from. At least a little bit. Williams is 6'5", 320 pounds, 34.5-inch arms. Darrisaw 6'5", 315, 34.25-inch arms. They both wear the number 71, and while Darrisaw may not have quite the absurd athleticism of Williams, he's not far off if you can squint. If you can squint, you can envision Darrisaw becoming a top-tier player with the movement ability and power in similar fashion to Williams. So they're really comparing him to Trent Williams. The coaches are. and I'll go on to read some quotes, some tweets from yesterday. But there's early comparisons because I believe Trent Williams was actually graded lower than Darrisaw as a rookie, had twice as many sacks given up. Now Darrisaw didn't play as many games, but just by the Pro Football Focus, even though I'm arguing with them right now, I'm fighting those guys because the way they rank our Vikings, they actually ranked him higher than they ranked Trent Williams when he was a rookie. So there's a lot of good news coming out of that. And if you go look at my previous videos of me talking about Darrisaw, he's got extreme athleticism. The only thing that I knocked him on is that he doesn't finish blocks as well as he probably could. Like he doesn't, he gives up on the block occasionally, and his guy makes a play. When if he would have just held on to the block for a split second more, the guy catching the ball or in a screenplay would have been able to blow right past him. He just needs to stay on the block a tick longer. One of the things I raved about at Ingram is that this guy buries people, at least in college, and that's something Darrisaw didn't in college, and he's not doing in the pros. But just the fact that how athletic he is, long arms and things like that, he's got all the potential in the world. He just and all he has to do is get coached up. I think he's got all the physical tools to do this. Now, let me just go through these quotes that mentioned Christian Darrisaw. The Skull Post, Daniel Hunter just called Christian Darrisaw a young Trent Williams, and NFL Network, so that's something. Vikings Nation, who will have a breakout season in 2022 for the Vikings? I'll start Christian Darrisaw. Vikes at Vikes Insider, left tackle Christian Darrisaw has clearly taken a big step, and in the offseason, he stood his ground against Daniel Hunter. Apparently, they were going at it, and he was holding his own. Left tackle Christian, and this is Insider again. Christian Darrisaw with some very good reps against All-Pro DN Daniel Hunter. Notes from TCO Andrew Kramer. Christian Darrisaw has looked good, held his own versus Zadarius Smith in one-on-ones. Exited team drills with an arm issue. Blake Brandel first up behind him, which was a surprise. Good for him though. Let's see here. So that's the news on Christian Darrisaw. Players are raving about him. The media is raving about him. The guys that just the general population independent journalists and bloggers are all talking now about Christian Darrisaw. And once I heard that Brian O'Neill interview a few days ago about him, I just thought, hey, that was a great reasoning. I'm gonna take another look at him. I already thought he was a good pick. I already thought he was a great pick for us. One of the best decisions we made recent years outside of Justin Jefferson. But hey, he just hadn't stood out. But all things considered, because of his injuries going into camp last year, he didn't practice, and he still played pretty well. Now healthy, the sky's the limit for this guy. So that's it. That's it for Skull World, Minnesota Sports Talk, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Skull World. Make sure you hit subscribe, like, and comment. Thank you for that. Thank you for everything. I hit 400 subscribers on the way to 500, and it's because of you guys. Now make sure you hit comment, like, subscribe. That pushes the content. That gets our message out there. And remember, we got the live watch party tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Central. See you then. Skull Vikes. See you next time.